And welcome guys, this is the tutorial on resources in the Godot engine. We are going to I'm going to show you guys how to create resources and how to use them in your projects. It's very useful, so let's get started. Right click, create a script. We'll call it item and we'll inherit from resource. So we inherit from resource and click on create. You can open this up. So now it extends from resource, and then we can go and give the class, give it a class name. Class name item. This will allow us to find the item when we create the resource. If you right click here, create, and click on resource, we can now find the item over here and we can create a resource item. So click on create. We'll just name it sword. Okay, save that. Now if we click on it, over here we have the resource, but it's currently nothing. So we can go and add an export variable. So the export allows us to see it in the inspector. So let's just give it a label as a string, then set it to item by default. So now we can see in the inspector there's we can name this item steel sword, for example, and then we can give it a more variables, export a value or cost, how much the item might cost. Let's set it to 1 by default. Perhaps this is how much gold is going to cost, and we can set it over here in the inspector as well to 20 gold. So we can also give an ID for the item and set it to an int. So now every item will have a ID. Now we can create another item, another resource item. Call this one apple. Double click that, set the ID to 1, rename this to apple, and the value is 1 piece gold. So you can create a bunch of items. We can actually create a folder here, call it data, because this is where the data is going to be stored, and then we can drag this into the data file like that. So basically resources are used to store data, a bunch of data on the disk, so that we can then use it later on. So we can create another class, call it inventory, for example, near it from the normal node, and then we can just create a scene here. Change this. Let's just open up the inventory script, and then I'm just gonna give it a class name, inventory, and then we can add an array over here. We can add an array. Let me just remove this code. Export items, and that can edit from an array, and we'll pass in item in there, and then we can go and we just save the script, and then over here in the scene we can change this type to an inventory node and rename it to inventory. So now we can go and add scriptable objects like this by clicking on add item and then new item, and then we can go and fill this out. But we're gonna drag in the items that we already created over here. So we can go and drag apple in, and then add another one, and drag sword in, and now we have our apple and our sword scriptable objects. Not scriptable objects. In Unity they are called scriptable objects, but they are resources. They are called resources in Godot. So excuse me for calling it scriptable objects, but it's very similar to Unity scriptable object. So now we have two items added. We can just quickly test it out. Let's just add it in the ready function. Then we can go and print. Let's create a for loop for I item in items. Print item label, and then we have to go and save the scene. So save the scene, and then if we run the scene now, we'll just select this current scene, the inventory scene, and then over here at the bottom you can see it print out apple and sword. So you can do a bunch of things with scriptable objects. It's just a way of packing in data and storing it. Sometimes you might need to make it unique if you want the item to not be affected by other objects. So then you might want to make it unique. So yeah, it's pretty useful. You can use it for a lot of things. In this case it works pretty well with inventory systems. You can use it in many different other ways, but yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys how to use scriptable objects, or not scriptable objects, resources. I keep calling it scriptable objects, sorry about that. They're called resources in Godot. I'm used to calling them scriptable objects because I come from Unity. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Give this video a like and I'll see you in the next video.